Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 3. And as you guys know, I haven't been the biggest fan of Book of Boba Fett so far. The first two episodes felt very okay-ish to me. They weren't anything grand, anything I was like gushing over. A lot of people loved the second episode. As you guys saw from my video, I liked it. I didn't love it. And that's sort of like what my thoughts have been on the show so far. I've been liking it, but I haven't really seen a point or like kind of like seen like, you know, the interest with the story so far. That's just me though. So before we go into it, please make sure you like this video. If you guys have been enjoying it, please subscribe if you're new. This isn't your traditional recap. I'm not going to be looking over every single scene in this show. Just talking about the things I like, maybe some of the things I disliked, my rating for the episode, and that is it. So let's get into it. And one of the main things that I haven't liked about the show so far is the flashbacks with Tusken Raiders. As you guys might have seen my last video, my main reason for that is just because I never cared for Tusken Raiders. And I just found it was funny, like before the recap, you guys watched the recap for Chapter 3. And they're like, previously in Book of Boba Fett, they only show the present day stuff. They don't show anything with the Tusken Raiders. So I'm like, am I right? Like, did the Tusken Raider stuff like not matter as much as I thought? Because I sort of knew that. I was like, I don't think this matters. Like, I get for his character it does, and it's like that family thing. But if like the whole story they're trying to tell, like I didn't really know like where that was going. And I just found it funny for how in the recap for this episode, they don't even show us the recap of the flashback. Like, I don't know, it was just something I noticed. One thing I liked about this episode, though, is the amount of like actor cameos are in there. Stephen Root, you mostly well know him from Dodgeball, and he's like in some other things as well. He shows up in the beginning. He's talking to Boba and Jabba's palace, or is this Boba's palace now? I don't know what you call it right now. But he's explaining how the mayor promised the territory to someone else. Or no, I don't think it was this part. He was explaining how most Espo is sort of scattered in like 3 territories right now. And, but, it was nice seeing that actor in something in Star Wars. We also got another line to where he talks like a quick line about Tatooine used to be covered in water. I think it's like the second time they brought that up. I don't know like if this was in like Legends or the comics, something like that. I never knew Tatooine was once covered by water. I feel like this may be a setup for something that they might do like with the Old Republic. Like maybe we'll see Tatooine like an Old Republic movie or something like that, and it's covered in water. I feel like maybe like they're slowly preparing us for that. I don't know. After this, we get a scene where Boba is confronting some thieves, right? Stephen Root's character from Dodgeball, he has a problem where some thieves are stealing his water. He confronts the thieves, and this is where Natalie from Yellow Jackets, the actress, shows up. If you guys know me and my channel, you know Yellow Jackets like the biggest thing in my channel right now. One of the actors from that show shows up in Book of Boba Fett. That made me really happy. I was like, yo, it's Natalie from Yellow Jackets. I forgot the actress's name, but she's so good in Yellow Jackets. She plays a big part here in Boba Fett. She'll probably be a reoccurring character in the show now. She becomes one of his like workers now, as Boba hires the thieves right after. But it was so nice to see her, and I just found it funny that she's in Yellow Jackets and Boba Fett now. Good for her. I mean, that's pretty big to be in a Star Wars show like this. After this, we see him go back into his Bacta tank. He gets another flashback of Kamino. I think the Kamino flashbacks look really cool, but this was just the same flashback again of him as a kid, watching his father Django, take off in the Slave One ship and go off. Like, it was the same flashback. But then we get to see the Tusken Raiders, part of his flashback, where he goes and he talks to the Pike Syndicate. I didn't really care for this conversation. It just felt like, they were just like reiterating the same thing about how like the Tusken Raiders deserve their land, like stay away from them and then whatever. But then when he goes back to the camp, he finds that all the Tusken Raiders are dead. The whole place has been burned down from the bike riders that he beat up in the previous episode, right? And I thought this was shocking. I didn't know that they were going to kill the Tusken Raiders like this. And I guess this is now like the reason what those flashbacks were for, right? To give him more character depth in that, like, he cared for these raiders. They were like a family to him. I still don't get here, though, is like, why write it to where it's the bike riders that killed the raiders? Like, what's the point of that? Because at first I thought maybe it was the Pike Syndicate, and now I see what the reason for all those flashbacks were, to give more hatred to the Pike Syndicate and make it so that when he goes to the war in the present, it feels more personal now because that's the syndicate that took out the Raiders. But it's not like that. It's just a random group of bike raiders that killed the Tusken Raiders. So next time we go into the flashback, it's just going to be Boba like taking out the bike riders, and that's it. Like, I feel like it should have been the syndicate that killed the Raiders, so it adds more of that personal, like connection when he goes to fight the syndicate. I don't know, like, what's the point of the riders killing the Tusken Raiders? Like why is that important to the overall story? Shortly after, we see that big Wookiee, what is his name, like, Chrysanthemum, right? Chrysanthemum picks him up. Cool fight. I still think the fight choreography in the show is a little bit sloppy and, like, messy. Like, when all the thieves come, they're all beating up Chrysanthemum. He's fighting Boba. it's just like not as good as I want it to be. Like I don't know if I'm just like the choreography nowadays is like really good, so maybe I've just been spoiled from some of the big stuff I've seen, but it just felt really weak here. After this, we see the Hutts show up and they gift Boba a Rancor. It was cool to see Danny Trejo, who's also like a Robert Rodriguez, star that he always uses. So it's nice to see him in here. And it was just a cool scene, like the Hutts gifting Boba a Rancor, like just that idea and seeing it, like it looked really cool. And I thought it was like a cool little thing that Boba gets his own Rancor now, just like how Jabba used to have his own Rancor that we saw in Return of the Jedi. A cool little nod. I liked it. They also say that they're leaving because this territory was promised to another syndicate, which is the Pike Syndicate, as we'll find out. The mayor promised them this territory, so the Hutts are going to leave. As we'll see, like Boba's not going to go like he's not going to leave that easily. And then there's another thing I thought was a waste. We see the Hutts gift chrysanthemum to Boba, and then I was like, oh, it's gonna be cool. Like we're gonna see chrysanthemum and Boba maybe work together. It'd be cool for him to have like a number 3 now, like Fennec Shan's number 2, chrysanthemum's number 3. Like he'll be stacked. Like that's gonna be awesome. And then he just lets him go. And then chrysanthemum just like jogs off like kind of like silly. And I was like, damn, like I'm sure we're going to see that character again. And Fennec Shan even says like, you think that was a mistake? And Boba says like, no, or something like that, right? But I think it would have been really cool if they had like a team up. Another thing I didn't like was that right after this, we see Boba with the Rancor. The dude's like petting the Rancor. Danny Trejo's explaining how like the Rancors are actually peaceful and like, they're only, unless they're instigated, like, then that's when they become deadly. And I was like, are they really trying to make me feel sympathetic towards like a freaking Rancor right now? And then they got Boba like petting the Rancor and he's like, good boy, good boy. It's still like this Boba character like in this show feels so like watered down and sort of silly to me. I know people are saying like Beta Fett and stuff like that. Like I'm not in that territory yet, but this isn't what the Boba character like I imagined. So it just feels super weird for me when I see him like petting the Rancor and it's like, good boy, good boy. Like I don't know, it just feels a little bit off to me. And I don't like that the Rancors are peaceful creatures. Like, like in Return of the Jedi, it's like this deadly menacing thing that is like supposed to like, is no holds bar, like will eat anything that comes in there. Like no matter what, like no matter if it's provoked, it's hungry, it's going to eat. And now in this one, it's like, no, it's actually like a good little pet, like good boy. Like I was like, that's kind of dumb. And then we get like the chase with the mayor's guy, right? Boba goes to see the mayor. He's not there. He's meeting up with the Pike Syndicate. And so the mayor guy tries to run. We see, Boba's Power Ranger. His thieves bicycles, another thing that looks so silly and cartoonish to me. The rainbow-colored bikes and, like, surrounding Boba, it just looks so, like, weird and off-putting. Like, I don't know. It just creates, like, this weird tone for him around him. Like, he looks silly and cartoonish to me. And at the end, we get to see, like, where I guess the climax of the show is going to come with, where Boba goes to war against the Pike Syndicate. I thought it was a cool line. Like, he's like, all right, we're preparing for war. And I was like, all right, it's cool. So my rating for this is actually a 3.5 out of 5. This is the highest rating I've given to the Boba show so far. I do think it was like an okay episode. Like it's Star Wars. Like I still think it's like good in a way, and I'm still like enjoying it. But I just don't see the point yet. Like what's the point of this show? Like what are they trying to tell us? Or like what's the whole point of this in like the grand scheme of Star Wars right now? Is it literally just, oh, this is what Boba was doing, and he fought the Pike Syndicate and that's it? Because then at that point I'm just like, it's cool. Like it's like having like a little comic book, and like, oh, this is the story of where Boba, this is what Boba was doing after Return of the Jedi, and that's it though. Like it doesn't feed into anything else. That's what kind of gets me a little bit mad that it's not like bleeding into any other storylines. But that's just my thoughts. I mean, this is what, 6 episodes, 8 episodes. We're up to episode 3 right now, so we got like 4 more episodes left, I believe. So who knows? Like I'm hoping it's a little bit more than just Boba versus the Pike Syndicate for control of the underground. I want there to be a little bit more. I think there will be. I don't think it's like, don't think it's gonna be as big as some people think. Like people think Bosker's gonna come in, Cad Bane's gonna show up. I don't think we're gonna get cameos like that. I hope so. I think it'd be really cool. But for right now, I just haven't been loving the tone of the show. And I think the tone mostly comes from Robert Rodriguez. I love some of his movies. I don't think he's a great director. Some of his Mandalorian episodes are like the best. But I don't know. It's just like the show feels sort of like not what I want it to be. And the Boba character isn't as aggressive or like badass as I want it to be. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. Like I don't know how to feel about this show. Let me know down below. What did you guys think? Did you guys like this episode? Did you dislike it? Was it a step up from the last one, step down? What did you guys think? Comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. Have a great rest of the day, and I will catch you all in the next one.